There are many reasons to learn a foreign language. The ability to communicate in multiple languages can lead to both an increased understanding of cultural differences throughout our world, as well as an increased ability to thrive in the global economy.
I'm Helen Zhou, Assistant Professor at RPI. I have taught Mandarin Chinese for many years. In my years of teaching, I found interactive communication is what connects students with others in a foreign language. The ability to effectively communicate with another person requires a range of skills, including suggesting, questioning, listening to, and negotiating with others. The skill set is one of the most difficult parts of language acquisition, as it is not tangible and hard to measure. Students can only improve it through practices. From the simulated experiences in the cognitive immersive room, language learners will enhance their ability to hold an effective conversation. These skills are fundamental for their future employment and social life opportunities.
Cognitive and Immersive System Lab is a collaboration between IBM and RPI. Cognitive and Immersive Classroom is one of the 4 use cases we focused on in this lab. The first project we are working on in this area is called Mandarin project. The goal here is to integrate cognitive computing technologies and the immersive technologies from IBM and RPI together to create the next generation classroom beyond the traditional classroom for language teaching. In this classroom, the students can practice daily life tasks in a culture-rich environment and get help from an intelligent agent during their learning of this new language.
In the spring of 2013, Professors Li Sheldon, Ben Chang, and Mei Su collaborated with Jianling Yue and Yalun Zhe to create the Mandarin Project. Their mission was to develop a hybrid of immersive classroom experiences and virtual reality adventures designed to engage students as they master Chinese. During their collaboration, the team treated language as always situated in a culture and in a physical location, as connected to a place and to people, not just an isolated thing. So to experience language in that way, in a cultural and spatial context, is a valuable thing. With the additional elements of gameplay and narrative, there are heightened motivation, interest, and engagement levels with the learning. In late November of 2013, the first class of students taking Chinese at Rensselaer stepped into the immersive environment to learn Chinese. It was on these efforts that the foundation for the immersive capability of future cognitive and immersive classrooms was established. When the Cognitive and Immersive Systems Lab was later established in 2015, the Mandarin Project was brought to the forefront of advanced research in cognitive and immersive classrooms for cyber-enabled language learning. We've leveraged speech-based dialogue for communication and information exchange in Mandarin between students and agents in an immersive environment where students are engaged in task-oriented group activities through communication and interpersonal social practices.
In order to fully integrate the cognitive computing and immersive computing together for this new classroom, we set up a classroom environment in MPAC Studio 2. In this new environment, we enabled speech recognition technologies, conversation technologies, and natural language understanding technologies for both English and Chinese. We also enabled multimodal interactions, spatial intelligence technologies, and storytelling technologies for language teaching.
So we're designing a task-based language learning environment that leverages the potential for games to excite and engage students for the purpose of learning Chinese within the cognitive and immersive room. The vision here is to enable a situation where you can enter the virtual restaurant with a group of your friends, be greeted by the virtual waiter, and seated at a table that can accommodate your group. So we've enabled the room to allow students the opportunity to complete food ordering tasks within a cognitive environment with a conversation with the avatar.
你想点什么？
熊猫，我喜欢这个。
你的意思是水。
So this scenario presents some key challenges for the development of cognitive and immersive technology. Human communication is multimodal. it is dynamic, it is narrative, and the Mandarin language is also tonal. So we must design a system that takes all of these elements into account, assesses student performance in language, and then responds in a way that feels natural and does not necessarily follow a predetermined script.
熊猫有什么推荐吗？
烤鸭很好吃，你想尝尝吗？
熊猫烤鸭是什么？
我给你讲讲。
Peking duck is a famous duck dish from Beijing that has been prepared since the imperial era. The meat is prized for its thin, crisp skin, with authentic versions of the dish serving mostly the skin and little meat, sliced in front of the diners by the cook. Do you want me to introduce another relevant item?
Watson, that's enough.
你想点什么？
Moving forward, we envision several developments from a design point of view. First, in order to draw students more into the immersive experience, we're developing an avatar that is more emotive and uses full lip sync and 3D animation. Second, we're developing mini-games that leverage pitch-tone contour analysis to give students feedback on their pronunciation of the language in real time. And finally, we are developing a multi-student experience that leverages spatial audio input and output to enable an entire classroom of students to participate as customers of the restaurant at the same time.
One of the goals of the Mandarin project is to provide a system that can analyze and synthesize pitch contours. The idea is to take the Chinese word from a non-native speaker, analyze the pitch contour, and compare to native Chinese speakers. That you could not only show the pitch contour as a frequency to time graph, but that you could also automatically classify which of the 4 categories the pronunciation fell. And if the pronunciation is incorrect, then the system will automatically transform what's being said into the pitch contour of a native Chinese speaker, so the student can hear his or her own voice with the correct pitch contour.
One of the largest obstacles in learning a foreign language through immersion is dealing with the frustration and judgment that students may encounter from native speakers. In the cognitive and immersive classroom, however, virtual conversation partners are capable of infinite patience while students work on their vocabulary and pronunciation. We're piloting the use of this new technology for Chinese courses at RPI. At a point in time when most language learning researchers are working with virtual reality or augmented reality, we're investigating human-scale environments where students can physically walk around in a real space without the hindrance of wearing specialized equipment. These affordances present a unique approach which has the potential to greatly benefit the language and cultural intelligence that the user is able to gain from the experience.
Cognitive computing systems are increasingly prevalent in our society. The ways in which we engage information in our daily lives are becoming ever more immersive. The paradigm of human-computer interaction will soon shift toward a partnership between human beings and intelligent computers through human-scale immersive experiences. The questions we have to ask ourselves are, what will this paradigm shift bring to our world? How will it transform our society? And how will it help us to solve the big and complex problems we face today?